All right. Good morning and happy Thursday. Welcome. We are on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, radio, TV, and podcast. Number one, Internet Singles Talk Network, your health vibes with Elana. And I'm your host. What do you know, Elana? Host of your health vibes with Elana. My journey is to raise your heart, body, and soul vibes to the next level so you can transform your life today. So excited to be here. And our topic today is how your secrets impact your mental and physical health with the one, the only, Nancy. Woo! All right. Today, our guest is Nancy, founder of W.A.V.E, Women Against Violent Encounters, and author of Secrets in the Attic, A Woman's Journey to Empowerment. And that's not the only book this beautiful lady has written so far. I'm so excited for you to be here today and to join me. Thank you for being here. And thank you I'm just excited to show the world who you are. Everybody, here is the one, the only. Here we go.
All right. The pink plume. There you go. It's official now. The pink plume has opened the meeting. We're ready to go. Elana, thank you so much for having me. I always enjoy being able to share my story, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
I'm so happy that you get to share this story and that the world gets to see who you are, because I get to see it, and I want everybody else to see what you have to share those beautiful gifts with this world. So can you tell us a little bit about who you are, Nancy?
Absolutely. So when I was a little girl, I learned to keep a lot of secrets about the mental abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse that escalated to sexual abuse by the age of 12. Wow. And in keeping those secrets, you take on an identity of who you are. Mm-hmm. And that journey, that part of my life led me to study martial arts, because I thought, whoa, if I could fight like Bruce Lee, no one would ever lay a hand on me again. I would open up a can of whoop ass and, just take care of them. So I was studying martial arts as a competitor, student and teacher of the martial arts. And that's when I started my business in 1998. It was called W.A.V.E, Women Against Violent Encounters. That has transitioned a great deal, though, because the more I studied martial arts, the more I really understood that it's not about the physical. If you really want to heal something, a traumatic experience, something that is triggering you over and over and over again, if you really want to heal that, the physical aspect is not going to do it. It's got to be the mental. And martial arts has so much of, the mental aspects of going within and learning all of the metaphysical journey that we can take if we decide to take that. And that's how my business gradually transitioned from teaching the physical aspect of healing your childhood traumas and experiences to the work that I do today. And I really encourage women to learn about this power that we have. We all have this amazing power within us, but we don't recognize it. We don't believe it. We don't think we're worthy enough to tap into it. And, it's so funny. I have to share this with you, Elana, because this morning I was thinking about being on here with you. I don't know. I haven't thought about this for so long. And because it was like running through my mind this morning, I'm like, okay, I guess I meant to share this morning. So the thing is that when I was little, there's 5 siblings. I have a sister and 3 brothers. And we used to really like to watch Abbott and Costello. Uh-huh. And I'm pretty sure that's where this line came from. But Abbott and Costello were talking, and Bud was afraid of something. And Abbott said to him, are you a man or a mouse? And my brother and I used to say that to each other all the time. Like when something would come up and we'd be like, well, I don't know, I'm afraid to do that or whatever. We would go, are you a man or a mouse? And that was running through my head so much this morning. I even had to look it up. That's how much it was like cranking through my brain. And I'm like, okay, my guys are talking to me like, wow, okay, maybe I'm supposed to mention this or something. But you know what? I think we can really use that line, when we are afraid to go after something, or when something is triggering us, a fear of lack, a fear of being unhealthy, a fear of relationships, or a fear of getting out of a relationship. All of those fears keep us down, and it keeps us so disempowered. And whenever we give our power away, we are not accessing, utilizing, expanding the power within us. So there you go. Thank you guys for telling me that. And whoever needed to hear that today, there you go. You have it.
Well, that's what I love about, about our conversations is that, it's not necessarily planned. And like what, as I said, what's going to come out of this is what the universe wants. And I love that you got that sign from the universe. It's like, yep, that's one thing that I want to talk about, today. And so thank you. And I love that you can share. What I like is when people can share the personal stories, when they can talk the talk, walk the walk. And that's what I love about you. Can you kind of expand on some more stories of like, what I really like, a beautiful quote that you said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Can you kind of expand a little bit on that? That was very powerful. And I think it would really resonate with a lot of people.
Sure. I think another way to say that is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Both have the same message behind it. So someone can tell you that you are all that in a box of chocolates, but until you believe how special you are, you are going to lead a life and make choices based on not being special. And so teachers come to us in all shapes and sizes. Teachers come to us in a book, or maybe just like the statement that I said, are you a man or a mouse? That is a teachable moment.
Right.
Today, in this day and age, what do we call it? Hashtag moment or tweetable moment or something like that. But the thing is that we get these downloads from the universe second after second after second after second, but we often don't recognize the signs because we're so steeped in our negativity. Now, it's really important to remember that negativity is not a bad thing.
Right.
Negativity is simply letting you know, okay, is this the direction you want to keep taking? Or do you want to make a U-turn, turn right, turn left? And I think there's so much out there about manifesting and the law of attraction where people think they have to do something in order to attract or do something in order to manifest. But the thing is we are manifesting every second by second by second, we're manifesting. The only thing we have to be conscious of is, are we letting it in or are we not letting it in? And so, our teachers come to us and listen to a song. If it lights you up and fills your heart, you're letting in what it is that you are desiring the most. Right. And if you're not, then you're blocking it. And a way to tell that is to kind of check in with yourself and find out, are you living or experiencing in the moment from your gut or from your heart?
Can you kind of explain on that a little bit, the difference, because I think people don't realize that they get so confused, like where they're leading from. And, you lead from that. So maybe expands a little on the difference of when you're choosing the gut, the heart, your head, it's all kind of connected.
Sure. Well, you have to remember that everything is energy. We are energy. The seat I'm sitting on, and everything is energy. We are all part of one energy, one creative source. Right. So the thing is that since we're all connected, since everything is energy, we're always vibrating. And when you're feeling more negative than positive, you're vibrating at a lower frequency. So you're constricted. And think about it. When you feel some type of fear or something triggers you for a memory that just it's still impacting you negatively on the emotional scale, you feel it in your gut. Now, there are times like when you can just feel it here, like, oh, like there's a saying, oh, my heart just feels so heavy.
Yeah.
But when you are reacting from your gut, a lot of times that's a fear-based feeling. So when that's churning in there and you feel that, remember right here in the gut area, that's your chi area. That's where all the energy is like coming together in your physical being. And, in martial arts, that's what we tap into when we are either going to punch or absorb a punch. So when you tighten up, then you are ready to absorb a punch. And when you let it out, that's usually when you're giving a punch. So it's important to remember that when you feel that negative energy, when you feel really constricted here in your solar plexus, it's just simply vibration asking you, are you ready to hold it in and take something on that you don't really want to take on? Or are you ready to let it out and let it go? Either way is fine. You're whatever
right, it's how you choose to show up. And I think this kind of leads into our topic. It's like how your secrets impact your mental and physical health, which I want to kind of lead into, and also your book as well. Nancy's wrote more than one fabulous book and things. And I just really would love to promote that, because she just, put it out there. And I think of what we're saying is holding things and communicating, and definitely your secrets impact your mental,
my mental health. I love it.
Right?
Yes. Well, this book that you're talking about, Secrets in the Attic, A Woman's Journey to Empowerment, actually began, the thought of it began when I was in the attic. Literally, I was in the attic. So I live in California, and I was in Ohio visiting, and my cousins were getting ready to sell my aunt and uncle's home because my aunt and uncle had passed away. So the three of us were up in the attic, and we were going through boxes of stuff. And I will preface this story by telling you that growing up, we always felt like we were the kind of, I'll just say, the garbage of the family. There were 5 of us. We never had any money. We never had any food. We could never go anywhere. We were like the have-nots of everything, and we knew it. The family knew it. And so all of that just kept us down and feeling down. And then because of the secrets we were keeping in our home about all of that stuff that was going on, we felt like we didn't belong, and we felt like, oh gosh, we must be the only people who are so, I don't know, wrong. I'll just say. And I'm saying that because remember, that's thinking of it from your child mind when you're a child. Like you're just no good.
That's all you know.
So now here we are, fast forward, as adults, we're in the attic and we're going through boxes and just getting things ready. And my cousin shoves a box over to me and she's like, here, Nance, go through this. And I take the lid off, and on the top, I see letters in my mom's handwriting. And I kind of step back and I go, you guys, this is my mom's handwriting. What's my mom's stuff doing in your family's attic? And so we got curious and we started going through it. Exactly. We started going through it. And we started finding out things about family members that we had no idea. And let's just say that we found out some things that were like, did you know that about Uncle so-and-so? No. Did you know that? No. And all of a sudden I just stopped and I kind of sat back and I looked at my cousins and I go, looks like we weren't the crap of the family after all, right? And my cousin Judy said, I think I know what your next book's going to be about. And right away I said, yes. And I'm going to call it Secrets in the Attic. So there you go. That's where this bloomed from. And while I was thinking about how I wanted to write it, though, because it's one thing when I write a book and talk about me, my previous books, this is my 8th book. So my previous books.
Yeah. What are some previous topic or, things too, maybe.
Yeah. Well, the first one that I wrote is Chocolate or Vanilla, Life is All About Choices. And that's kind of like an autobiographical book. And I wrote that when I was going through my divorce of 32 years because I was feeling at my lowest. And I thought, how can I get out there and keep doing this work that I'm doing and be on stage and talking to women and, doing what it is that I do when my life is just falling apart. And I always like to be as transparent as I possibly can. So that's where that book came from. And then the second book was another book that I wrote was about healing the child within. And that book is, I shared that because that was something that my mother and I did together, because my mother and I had been very estranged my whole life.
Yeah.
And as she started seeing what I was doing with women, she called me while I was going through my divorce and said, do you think it's possible that what you're doing for other women could work for us as well? And so that's where that book came from. And then I also wrote another one on divorce. So, but those were more like, this is what I've been through. This is what I did to heal it. If you think this works for you, great, get this book and, maybe this will help you. But this book is not, this book had to be written differently because obviously, this information came to me and other people were involved. And I thought, okay, so how do I do this? And as I meditated on this, I felt like this book needs to be written as fiction. So it's teachable fiction. Yeah. And there is no category for that. So there you go. That's my word for it. But the thing is that when we keep secrets, like I was saying, how, the secrets that we kept in our house about, certainly you don't want to invite your girlfriend over when your father is the way he is. And so you just have these secrets. And then people say, hey, how come you never invite me over? And you have to lie. You have to. And so, you get really good at lying, but it doesn't seem like a lie. It seems more like a, I don't know. It's just like keeping a secret type thing. And that's what happened.
Right.
We need, thank you, Rob.
That's my dad.
Yeah. Rob, thank you. Thank you.
We do need to continue these types of discussions. And that's why we have Nancy to, share these beautiful stories so people can relate and connect. And so thanks, Dad.
Awesome. And, when you feel so, let's see, what is the word that I want? Like, not alienated, but so different. I think that's the easiest word to use. So different, because you talk to your classmates and they all have moms and dads and happy homes and everything seems to be perfect, because as I said, also thought that my other family members, everything was perfect, until we started uncovering some of these things. And, but you start to tell yourself that you're no good, and you really alienate yourself and take on this identity of who you are. And that identity keeps you from stretching or reaching for something else. And, I think one of the most powerful things we can do for ourselves is to sit back and go, gosh, remember when I accomplished X, Y, and Z? Wow, that was really cool. And then remember when I accomplished A, B, and C? Wow, that was really cool. And I think that so many women who are entrepreneurs, right? What do you have to do? You have to build a website, and then you have to talk about yourself. And this is my about me page, and this is my blah, blah, testimonials. Right. But very rarely do women go in and just really reread those testimonials. We gather testimonials because they're necessary to, let the world know what we're doing. But do we really read them and go, gosh, yeah, that is me. Gosh, yeah, I accomplished that. Gosh. And I think instead of calling it an about me page, we need to call it like a, I don't know, wall of happiness or something,
Your
And
joy, you know?
exactly. Yeah. This is what makes me joyful.
Yeah.
Um, so the thing is that when you're talking about secrets, it's really important to understand the beliefs that you created because of the secrets. So if you create the beliefs, whatever it is, like I said, I felt like I need to learn to fight. That became a belief. I need to learn to find a way to protect myself. And going back to everything being energy, if
Right.
that's what I'm emitting, if that's what I'm putting out into the universe, I've got to protect myself. I've got to protect myself. Well, then I will attract things that I need to be protected from. And that certainly happened to me over and over and over again. And it was so interesting to me as I began to awaken spiritually and understand how attraction works. And you realize that everything that you attract to you is a teachable moment.
Mm.
And then we would ask ourselves, what about children? Children don't understand. Children are pretty helpless. They can't say, no, don't do this to me. No, I don't want this anymore. And the thing is that children tend to feel what's going on from the adults around them. And because of that, they take on that energy. And when they take on that vibrational energy, then they start to create beliefs around it because they intuit things. And then they think that's how the world works. And they keep going. And then we create beliefs around them. And then we get older. And then we're walking around making all of our adult choices based on beliefs that we don't even need to hold on to anymore.
Right. And so my sister thinks stuff. She says keeping secrets and difficult feelings inside can make you physically sick as well. It's so important to be able to release, to learn how to feel safe. And yeah, thank you, Steph, for that. And I totally agree. And maybe we can expand on that too, because I was going to say it's also feeling safe and having that safe spot or someone to come up to and not feel embarrassed and not, to relate and do. So maybe can you expand a little bit on the safety factor, feeling safe, and also not allowing it to define you. You said a great thing. Remind you that it's not what happens to you that matters. It's what you do with what happens. So I feel that's very powerful, very, kind of leading into that. Maybe you can expand on that of safety and powerful of telling those secrets and the manifesting of what we talk about, not only mental, but the physical aspect.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite quotes by Carl Jung. And when I read that, it impacted me like a bolt of lightning. And I thought, yeah, I can, exactly. I can keep, regurgitating these thoughts about how they're self-pity thoughts. That's what they are. You learn to feel sorry for yourself when you are physically, verbally, emotionally abused, sexually abused. You learn to feel sorry for yourself. You learn to get in that mindset of, why did this happen? What am I going to do? And if you notice, every time I say this, I'm like shrinking because it just keeps constricting us. And again, like what Stephanie said, you feel physically sick. Usually that's, again, in the gut, but the physical manifestation can be anywhere in the body. And that's the thing, the beautiful thing too, to remember is like, if you have a dis-ease of the body, dis-ease of the body, that is energy letting you know something's trying to be released here, but you're holding on to it. Do you want to keep holding on to it or do you want to let it go? We always have the power, always, 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 even if we don't believe that.
No, I totally agree with that. And what are some things like when you're feeling like that or ways that people can work with you, feeling this way? What are some things that you do or things that are groups or something that someone can, I'd love for you to share kind of to expand on that of what you do to help someone who's going through this. What do you have to help or some maybe fun facts or, things you can recommend?
Well, I think one of the most powerful things that you can do for yourself is to create a happy list. Because when you are feeling that constriction, i.e. fear, shame, guilt, when it's really like washing over you and you're really just awash with it, that is the worst possible time to try to reverse it, because you've got so much momentum going on about all the negative. It's nearly impossible to step on the brake and go, hold on, I want to change this, So I suggest keeping a happy list. And basically, I tell my clients there should be at least 150 things on your happy list. And if you think about it, just stop. And I keep mine on my phone, because, your phones are always with you in the note section. And you just stop and think about what makes me happy. And
what are things that make you happy? What are some like?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to share that, because and keep in mind, it doesn't mean, it doesn't have to cost you anything.
Right.
So one of the things that lights me up, I really enjoy, is iced tea, and with a lot of ice. It's like there's iced tea in your glass, and there's a lot of ice, and you've got just the perfect ice to tea ratio, and it's melting, and that makes me so happy. In fact, when I go out to eat, and the server gets it right, because, and when I say gets it right, because I don't know if you've ever been out and you're like, oh, I'd like a glass of iced tea and an extra glass of ice, and they bring you like one of those little water cups because they're so afraid that like, I don't know what they're afraid of, ice rationing. And you're like, no, I want a glass of tea, and I want the same, a lot of ice. I like a lot of ice. So when they get it and they really know, like, oh, this is what this woman wants, I always tell them, thank you so much for making this such a great experience for me, because it lights me up. It makes me happy. Yeah,
they're listening to you, and it's acknowledging, because that's what you do. We just want to be acknowledged and listen. When you're asking someone something, you're taken care of. You show up for a service, they hear, what do you want? You ask for that, and they bring what makes you feel good. So I love that, to have that as well.
And you can just keep going. Like, maybe it's your pet, when your pet does silly things, write that on your list. Just stop and think about, oh yeah, that makes me happy. And the reason that I suggest there needs to be that many things on your list is because maybe if I'm having a oogly moogly moment where, things are just like, oh man, I'm so down right now. What the heck is going on? Maybe thinking about iced tea isn't going to do it for me, especially if it's a cold winter day, so maybe it's got to be hot tea or something. But, I have on my happy list, things I did with my brother, or things I did with my children. My youngest daughter, when she was little, and I can't even explain it, but we would call her name and she would go, what? And it was just the way she would go, what? And that we just used to crack up. Now, that's not something that anyone else would understand, but it's on my happy list, Yeah. And
you joy and happy,
Exactly. And maybe sometimes there will be something on your happy list that'll just kind of crack your smile. Yeah. But then if you keep going, you'll be like, yeah. And here's the thing. You only need to find and feel a happier thought and hold on to it for 16 seconds to start shifting your vibrational energy, to start shifting that vibrational frequency. So imagine if you have something on your happy list that kind of cracks the smile a little bit, like, and you can hold on to that for 16 seconds, and then you keep reading, and then you get another 16 seconds and another 16 seconds. Now you're creating momentum from a positive, a happy state, and that gets your train going in a different direction. So that's a very helpful tool.
Yeah, that's a really great tool. And also, maybe you can expand a little. So talking about secrets, and we're afraid to share or do, what do you have any groups that you do that people can come to, that to join, and maybe you can share with that, not only, if you have one-on-one, other things you do, or other groups that people can join so they can learn more about you and get the support that they need.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. I think I've got something out there to meet everyone where they are. if they're looking for me, if they're looking for what I do. Yeah. So I teach a weekly a group for women. It's a group coaching, and I call it the dojo. Oh, I wonder where that came from. And we meet every week. And this is a group for awakened women who, they know about energy and the law of attraction. And we know that our thoughts create things. But sometimes we just need that reminder. So this is a way that we can all come together, and each week we have a different topic, and it's open for discussion. It's not just one person gets to talk. Everybody talks. The last 2 weeks, oh, Maron, they were so powerful. The conversations, we ran over a half an hour after, and it's like, all right, you guys have got to, kind of shut this down now. But we're just like so excited about the topics. I also work one-on-one with people. I have free resources. I have an excellent download. It's a workbook. It's a 50-page workbook for anyone who is trying to figure this all out. Like, well, what the heck is a belief? Where does it come from? What do you mean when you say mastering your beliefs? I don't understand. There's a 50-page workbook there, right there for you. And it's very affordable. I made it very affordable because when I was, learning all of this, I could go here for this information and there for that one. And this teacher would teach this. So I brought it all together so someone could have a starting point of, oh, this is what a belief is. This is where I created them. This is why I get triggered as an adult. It's when we understand where it's coming from, we are that much more empowered to let it go when we're ready to let it go.
Ooh, I like that. I really do. That's really, really beautiful. So we're going to wrap it up soon, but do you have any last thoughts, anything else you would like to share? Or, I'm so grateful for you to be on here, and please connect with Nancy, everybody, and get the book, and, stop holding in those secrets, because it really can help. You want to feel good, and you have people to reach out to, and, you're not alone. I want people to know you're not alone, and you don't have to be scared to share your stories, because sharing your stories will be able to relate to others. So, Nancy, is there anything else you would like to share with us, or one last fun fact, or anything that the universe is telling you to say?
Any more Abbott and Costello quotes? Well, I would say that one of the most powerful things for me that I learned is to get it out of you. You don't have to be like me and go on social media and write books and spread the word and, say, this is what happened. You don't have to do that. But one of the things that can be so powerful is simply speak the words out loud. Look at what we've done as women once we really started tapping into the Me Too movement. Things started shifting and changing, and women started saying, yes, I had that experience, and yes, I had that experience. And this is not just about physical or sexual abuse. Right. This is also about anything, any kind of trauma. And it's also about not defining trauma as something that is, you had a worse experience than I did, so I really don't have any right to speak up and say this because your stuff is way worse than my stuff. No. Trauma is trauma. Whatever happened that it gave you a bad experience, a negative experience, a painful experience, if you're still holding on to it and being triggered by it, you deserve to heal from it. And when you start comparing yourself to someone else and saying, yeah, but I didn't have that. So I will tell you though that, growing up before I really understood about how we attract, that was kind of like my saving grace in my head sometimes. Like I would read things and I would say, oh yeah, I experienced this, but at least I didn't experience that. That could be like a way to raise your vibration when you are, sharing this with yourself. And again, that is a teacher coming in. Yes. Yeah. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So if you think everybody's life is crap, then you're going to think everybody's life is crap. But then when you hear something and you say, oh, thank goodness, I never experienced that. find things to be grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean things that light you up. I think
Yeah.
sometimes we misunderstand the word grateful
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, when you're little and you have to eat lima beans and you don't want to, and then your mom says, there
Okay.
are kids who really want those somewhere, and you're like, oh, I gotta be grateful.
Starving here, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, but do they have to eat lima beans? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So this is like, being grateful is not about being satisfied with where you are. It's understanding that we have the ability to continue expanding in everything, just keep expanding. And so being grateful does not mean you have to stay where you are. Being grateful is, that feeling. It's a feeling, an opportunity. I can do this. I can have this. I can be this.
Yeah.
And so if there's something that is something you're holding on to, get it out of you. It's really helpful. We used to talk a lot about journaling, get it out of your mind, put it on a piece of paper, and then you do a little ritual and burn it and watch it go up. But also, I think it really helps either to do the mirror exercise where you talk to yourself in the mirror. And I do have some clients who can't do that, but also you could do a video of yourself. Just get your phone out and talk to yourself. Get it out. You'll be so amazed at how much better you feel when you get it out of you and let it go.
Yeah. Let it go.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Nancy. I so appreciate you. And please, everybody, if you would love to get a hold of Nancy, you will find all the information on the site. Also, you can reach her at masteringyourbeliefs.com. I'm Elana with Your Health Vibes with Elana. And my show is bi-weekly, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, beginning raising your vibration, heart, body, mind, and soul. Thank you guys for being here. We are WGSN-DB Going Solo Network Radio TV Podcast, #1 Internet Singles Talk Network. And once again, I'm Elana with Your Health Vibes with Elana. I love you guys. I see you. I honor you. Thank you for being here. And please send this on to all. Yay! Bye for now.